Welcome, everybody, to Talk That Talk, where we have the live, unscripted, unfiltered, uncomfortable conversations about music education, band, HBCU band culture, and more. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel. What we got right here, we got Quan. And then over there, we got Quan.
You got Julian.
And I'm Jay, man. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
So first of all, let's talk about it. I mean, it's not really a bad thing, actually. You know, hey, it's both of us right here. It's Mario's supposed to be in later. So it's all good. So we gonna rock though. We're not gonna let that stop the show. We're gonna keep going. What's up, bro? How's it going?
I'm blessed. I ain't gonna lie. I must say I'm truly blessed. And I say that I'm blessed because despite what a lot of people are going through in regards to building their band and their music program, I thank God that I'm growing a lot. I'm growing as a music educator, networking with a lot of people. I'm also seeing a lot of brothers meet their dreams. You know, shout out to Rick. I know he's not here right now, but his new position with the Meridians. I mean,
nah, bro, come on, man.
Is Meridians?
No, bro.
What's up?
Mandarins, man.
My bad. Mandarins. Sorry, orange.
Oh,
but nah, shout out to you, boy, Rick, with the Mandarins. But I mean, that's just great stuff that's going on, man. So I'm just thankful to see that overall.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely shout out to Rick, man. We want to try to make sure we give him as much love as possible and support him on the show, man, because that's family. Caption head, that is a very important position, especially when you're talking about at the DCI level. And so we wish him the best. We're going to continue to support him as much as we possibly can. So, much love to him. So shout out to my brother. And that's really kind of where he's at right now, dealing with all those kind of things. He had his first Wind Ensemble concert yesterday. So I got to catch up with him and see what that was talking about. But I haven't done that yet. Real quick, bro, did you catch any of the bands, anything from this weekend?
I did, man. I did. So I had an opportunity, of course, everybody was talking about it. The Southern, Texas Southern game in Arlington, their Cotton Bowl Classic, so to speak. And I was able to look at it, and I must say, I'm gonna give the positive first, because I don't want it to come across like it's all negative or I'm hating. But I think I must say that this year, Southern has always been consistent, but I feel like to a degree, maybe it was like a point to prove, like so to speak. And I say that because this summer or this spring leading up to the summer, with the transition of Brian Simmons to Texas Southern, it came across like all the hype was on him, which I think it should be, and it was well deserved. However, I think people kind of like felt like, well, Southern was going to, basically collapse, due to his transition and absence. And I think like they just honestly proved the point. Like this shit, like they're still Southern, they're still consistent. Hate it or love them, they're going to be them. And I think they're on a kind of like, excuse my language, but like kiss my ass tour, like so to speak. So, I mean, they were consistent. I love to see when the band director is hyped. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody, it went viral. Kedrick Taylor throwing his, glasses and all of that stuff. I think sometimes you need that enthusiasm from your director as well. Now, in regards to Texas Southern, I do believe that their sound is continuously progressing. I think they're beginning to hit their stride as well. When it came to their field show, I must say this. I don't want them to turn into another Southern. I think their drill has improved tremendously from the Prairie View game and their games after, and even their homecoming show. But I must say, they did a step 2 drill, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, this is so Southern. I just I want to see them develop their own, not necessarily even the 80s Texas Southern, which is my favorite, but just their own era, their own, just so to speak, just something different. I wouldn't mind seeing a step 2 drill, but I also want to see do something different, do a bell front, drill, just do something different, bro.
All right, yeah, most definitely. I saw those.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be honest, that was probably the first time that the hypest I've ever seen Kendrick Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna speculate. I'm not gonna put any no stuff out there like that.
Mhm.
But that's probably the hypest I've seen Kendrick Taylor.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it there. One of the things that I did want to talk about though, when it came to this weekend, I saw I think it was Alcorn and Grambling.
Yeah. I saw
And then Alabama A&M, and I think it was Jackson. One of the things that I wanted to mention, because it actually came, it kind of showed itself. I don't know if anybody watched all of the videos, but there was one video in particular that I watched where it was very obvious that the audio had been changed going from one band to the next. And the only reason why I, can and will speak on this is because I was on that side. I've done the media side before. Um, I started out in I didn't start out in media, but if anybody knows anything about Norfolk State and Spartan Legion and the media team, after Gig Steve left, I started doing all of the media and the editing for the videos. So that's kind of where I started at. And then when I was at Prairie View, I did a lot of the media for them early on while I was there, and was really the kind of the start of that media team. Saying all that to say, we gotta either be real with what we're putting out there, or just not do it at all, because we don't need to doctor up sound and change sound. I understand there's a difference between surround sound. You want to get that surround sound, and there is a way that you could do that on your devices and all that kind of stuff. But when you obviously change the volume level in order for it to sound a specific way, then you're not giving a true sense of what's going on. One of the things that I tend to get frustrated on, somebody who goes to DCI and someone who goes to HBCU performances, when you go to a HBCU performance, there are many times when you're listening live and you go back and listen to the clip and it doesn't sound like what you heard live, right? But then there are times when I go to a DCI performance and what I heard live is exactly what I hear on the recording. And so I'm just going to say this. I know that when I was, doing the media at PV, I know that when I was doing the media at Norfolk, if the audio didn't sound good, and if there was not a good clip to put up, I wasn't putting it up. It just wasn't, it just wasn't going to happen. And so that's one of the things that we got to start looking at is, if we're going to do that, if we're going to be on these media teams and all that kind of stuff, yes, you want to be able to get, make the quality sound or blah, blah, blah. But we shouldn't be manipulating the sound of the programs, because it gives a false sense of what happens. I can't stand when I listen to a group online and all of a sudden when I go and see them, they don't sound the same. They sound like trash or trash cans. So from the media side, I'm just gonna say we got to do better with that, or just leave it alone in total.
What game? What game was this, bro?
I can't remember if it was the Alabama game or if it was the Alcorn game. I can't remember specifically. It was one of them. I got to go back and find the clip. But it was definitely one of those shows that I was watching that it was very evident, and it was so evident that people were even talking about it in the comment section.
So who they say was louder? Was it Alabama or Alcorn?
I think I don't remember. I'm not even trying to be funny. I really don't remember how it went as far as who said they were louder or anything like that. Because when I was looking at it or when I was listening to it, they weren't really saying one was louder than the other. They were just saying that it was noticeable that the audio was changed from one group to the next.
Okay.
And so that was really the conversation that was being had in the comment section. So, like I said, as a media person, don't be changing up the audio, man. Keep it the same across the board. If the band is trash, the band is trash. I mean, let's just keep it 100. All right, real quick though. This is like homecoming week for everybody, man. Everybody's having a homecoming week. It's either this week or next week. So what I want to do right quick is I just want to show off the fact that Norfolk State homecoming is this week. Behold the green and gold. So I had to wear my Legion shirt. I don't have no Norfolk State paraphernalia outside of Legion paraphernalia. If it don't say Norfolk State University Spartan Legion on it, then hey, I don't know. I need to get some stuff. But yeah, much love to Norfolk State homecoming. I wish I could be there. Planned to go last year, got the money to go last year. COVID hit us, smitted us all. So so everybody enjoy. I know MD Thursday is tomorrow. Tailgate and all that kind of stuff. If you don't know what MD Thursday is, I'll tell you a story about that later. All right. I think PV's homecoming is what, next week?
November 6th, baby.
November 6th? Okay. All right. So you going out there. All right. You gonna be out there. Have your mask on, bro. Please have your mask on. Please have your mask on. All right. All right, let's get it. So let me do it the right way. If you're just coming in, welcome to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, uncomfortable, unscripted conversations about music, band, HBCU band culture, and more. Please make sure that when you come in that you hit that like button. Please make sure that you smash that like button when you come in. All right. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to the network. If you go over to that YouTube channel, please make sure that you click that subscribe button because we got more and more content. I'm finalizing some stuff today. And I want to make sure that everybody's in on what we got going on, man. We got a lot of great stuff going on. So please make sure that you subscribe to the network. All right, here we go. Me and Quan, we gonna make this thing rock. I'm gonna see if I can do this moderator thing and still hold a good conversation at the same time. I'm a triple task today. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna make it work. All right, here we go. So, first topic on the floor. Athletics versus the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Who's retaining students and why? Athletics versus the arts. Who's retaining students and why?
I'm gonna go first. Are you gonna go first?
You got it.
All right. So this is my overall take on it. So, and I hate to say this, but in my opinion, the athletics is winning. And I say that athletics is winning because most students that see the aspect of athletics, they see it as a paycheck. Like they're striving to get honestly to the league to take their family and place them in a different situation and scenario. A lot of the students that look at band, like they want to be in band, but they know that it stops at a glass ceiling. And I think also a lot of the times, bro, they don't push the arts to see the overall benefits of it. They don't see it as a societal thing, how you can network with people behind music and the different aspects of the arts. They just look at it like it's something fun to do. It's something, you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't push the arts like we should with athletics. For example, in the state of Texas, think about it. How much money is truly given to athletics compared to fine arts? I mean, I know for a fact, think about this. In the state of Texas, there are band directors that make not band directors, high school football coaches that make six figures compared to your band director that put in either the same hours or possibly even more, that makes possibly half than that. Like, so when you look at the totality of the whole thing, bro, athletics is winning. Think about this. Think about how many AAU groups they have you know, at the age of 7 and 8, all the way to 18. You know, we don't have camps and conservatories and schools like that in this country that I've seen. Let me say that I've seen that are pushing the arts like that. So when you have a pipeline of and feeder programs of athletes and whatnot, think about how many people are recruiting elementary kids from the Pop Warner field to their middle school to their high school, and then they have schools specifically slated for the athletic aspect where kids all they do is go to school and play basketball around this country. We don't have that for the fine arts. I mean, and so honestly, when you're stacked up against those type of odds, to a degree, how can you win? That's my take on it.
All right. I just honestly believe, and I don't disagree with anything you said, but I just honestly believe that because there is not the vision of band out there, then it gives the kids nothing to aspire to, right? So like when I look at it, I think about, if you think about in the 80s, band was big, especially in the African American community, because you still had actual groups who were performing with live instrumentation. You saw those instruments, you saw those people who were still performing, you saw those things, right? And that was an inspiration because these were um your bigger artists who were performing at that time, and they were performing with a live band, whether it was trumpet or saxophone or trombone or blah blah blah. Especially when you got into or excuse me, as you moved to the 90s, you still had R&B groups who were active in um music. And so when you had these R&B groups who were active, you still had people who were playing live instruments. And so when you had that, you had people, and you had people who were able to see these instruments being played, so it gave a vision. You can look at the NFL now, right? You can look at the NBA, you can look at FIFA, you can look at tennis. Like, you have all of these different avenues to be able to see, these athletics being performed, but then you have nothing for band. So I think that a lot of what you said, along with what I'm saying too, is a contributing factor. I think that people, because they don't see a vision outside of, what we tell them as educators, they're like, I'm good. I don't see the purpose in this.
So what's up? What's up, Mario? I want to say good afternoon.
What up, man? What's going on with y'all fellas?
What's up, Doc? But here's my thing, Julian. To add to that point, though, I think everything what you said is absolutely correct. But being honest, being a musician is hard. In a different facet, it's hard. Like as a kid, and what I realized about, like last week our conversation, the question was, are kids different? Think about this. To a degree, you are willing to run up and down a football field or throw a baseball because you thought it was fun, right? To truly, if you're a horn player, to sit down and truly develop your embouchure with that mouthpiece, it's boring as hell. like real talk, like kids, like I'm dealing with that fine line. And I know Mario said it last week, like he was upset that he had to teach a song by rote, but to a degree is like, if I don't do something, I'm gonna lose them, because they want to play the songs that they hear these collegiate bands playing, but you don't know how to read syncopated rhythms. So it's like our teaching style must be different to keep them, to make them fall in love with it, but also find a way to teach them proper pedagogy. And that's that fine line that's hard, because honestly, to a degree, you have to sit down and just learn the craft. There's nothing that you're going to learn overnight. As a percussionist, bro, when you teaching the child how to hold their sticks, and I need you to play this paradiddle, all they see is, I want to do, that's all they want to do. But I got to teach you, hey, this is one Iana, your accent is on one. This is what I need you to do. And sometimes to a kid, that's arduous, and they don't have the patience for it. But they know for a fact, I may not be the fastest, but I could run in this direction and catch this ball. I could be on the team.
All right. I don't disagree with you. And one of the I'm a say this, and I thought it was very interesting. I had a coach that I used to talk to at one of my old schools, and I was at Beaumont. His name is Coach Caesar. And one of the interesting things that he said to me was, he was like, man, these kids don't care about no football. He was like, a lot of these kids just want to be seen. They just want to have a jersey on, just for people to recognize them and say, oh, you on the team, dope. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids don't even care. So I think that, and a lot of what you said is true. But I also believe that, well, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I ain't even gonna go against it because, yeah. Hey, Mario, what's up? You want to get in on this?
Yeah, man.
All right. So athletics versus the arts. Who is retaining students and why?
Neither really. I think that in the North, we have really, really poor athletics in some places and poor band programs. But if there's anything, hold on one second. If there's anything that is retaining, it probably is more athletics than band, obviously, because we have, like, I think I heard you saying it right before I got on the call, like the NBA, the NFL, having these professional teams, having college teams, being that, like Quan was talking about, being seen on TV in some capacity, that all allows you to be able to, the interest is there because in the parents, even though a kid can literally get their arm broken or leg broken or something like that, they will still rather have their kids go and run on the field or do something like that with the slimmest margins of possibility that you would even make it to the next level, rather than sit down and work on a craft that you could that could allow you to get a scholarship in college much easier. Because if you can think about it, like most HBCU programs, if you play the French horn and the bassoon, you can almost write your ticket. You know what I'm saying? You're writing your ticket, like, you know what I mean. So if I play running back or something like that, like, that's, you got to be extraordinary to be able to take that to the next level. So I just think it's really tough, man, for all of us in general to be able to, promote what we're trying to promote in our classrooms and our craft and get that to continue to go forward when we're constantly dealing with kids who don't want to sit, like what Quan was talking about, like I was saying last week. You don't want to sit and work hard at like on something over time. It's like that overtime thing just doesn't really sit well with a lot of kids. So they would prefer to do something that's going to have an immediate gratification. And athletics, though there's still skill sets to it, that's why a lot of kids want to shoot the ball like Steph Curry. They want to shoot from three because it takes more skill and patience to learn how to actually have ball handling skills, to know what you're doing, to read plays, to know what's going on. Like, so I just think it's a product of culture. I don't know if it was like this in the 70s. You know what I mean? I wasn't born then, so maybe in the 70s they dealt with some of that shift. I don't know. Maybe I had to have some old school heads on here to see if they felt like, back in my day in the 50s it was this way, and then when the 70s came, everything kind of went to shit. So I don't know if they feel like that, but I feel like the shift that we're having right now is really difficult to see where the light is coming, and I don't know what our future holds. And I don't want to go too far into the show, but I don't know what our future holds if we having difficulty with just being able to teach kids and like having them be interested in what we're doing. If y'all can't do it in Texas, what do you think I'm going to do in New Jersey? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to do in New Jersey if you can't do it in Texas? And so Texas is like Texas, Florida. Those are like music states. So I don't know, man. I think to answer the final question, just to answer the question again, but I think athletics is retaining and the arts is struggling. And so we'll see what happens in the future.
All right. Quan, any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, two quick things. I know one thing is, and I hate to say it like this, it goes back to our kind of topic from last week in regards to parents. I saw a parent at a Little League football game fussing at another student about why she couldn't stay late for practice. But that parent was at Little League practice with the little brother. You know what I'm saying? It's like that goes back to a parent thing. And some of the mentality, trickles down to the kids of what's important. Like I said previously, Some of them look at band practice as being, a burden. But you're not saying that for man that plays football. That's one situation. Also, what it truly takes to sustain a adequate music program, a lot of administrators, they don't want to do that either. And that, they'll rather, like Mario said, the instant gratification of a football team to put your name in the paper will go faster if you're district champs for a football team than you making sweepstakes for your band competition. And I hate to say it like that. And then I guess lastly, I think in the 70s and 80s, we had a different music scene. So like your parents were listening to Earth, Wind and Fire. So when you was listening to those albums, you understood instruments and you had those feeder programs and systems that were set up for you to play like Earth, Wind and Fire. And now we just have digital aspects and they don't get the same look, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with what you said. Just to kind of give an example of that, I remember the school I was at, the basketball team won state, and you already know how that is. You know what I'm saying? We got a ticker tape parade going on. They go to state, everybody's on, the names in the paper, all that kind of stuff. But I had, some students who had, I had a student who had made state UIL and other students who had gotten Division I ratings in their solo and ensemble contest. We didn't get a peep, not a word, not a congratulations, not nothing in the school newspaper, not nothing. And we have to look at that too, because I think that when we start looking at how that affects the student as well, because our band students see the overabundance of love and appreciation that these, football teams are getting and these basketball teams are getting, but then they don't get the same love back when they do something good or when they do something special. You know what I'm saying? So I think that
I've had that exact situation happen to me, bro.
Yeah.
That exact situation happened to me. Something to speak on quickly, man. We went to state championship, not state championship. We went to the state festivals for jazz band. The first school in the history of Newark Public Schools to actually make it past regionals and make it to states. And in our first year, actually going to compete, first year, and when it was over and we got fourth, and this is fourth out of our state, man. Like that's a huge. If you know jazz in Jersey, that is huge. Like for our whole division, it was like some heavy hitters in our division. The people who were first in our division end up winning the whole states. They won states. They were like the best. They're the best in the state. No one said anything. Literally, no administrator sent out anything. No one said anything. I had to be my own advocate. And they tell us not to send out like mass emails. I had to send out a mass email to the entire school, just letting them know that, kids in this school have another interest and they did excellent on it. And, just trying to let them know. So I had that exact situation and it broke my heart for the kids more than even myself, because their hard work was almost like it wasn't even noticed. And that really sucks for them because it makes it hard for them to want to keep doing the same thing. They feel like no one's ever going to acknowledge what they're doing, and they're acknowledging their peers for winning a volleyball trophy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just a very different dynamic.
Yeah, most definitely. And I just, even just going back to the situation I had, my kids were really upset about it too. So I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. All right, let's keep it going, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. If you're just coming in, please make sure that you smash the like button. Go ahead and smash that like button as soon as you come in. What up, dude?
Yeah.
He said, I'm trying to get
my son there.
Daddy, who you talking to?
Right.
But anyway, please make sure that when you come in, you smash that like button. Also, if you go over to the YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe to the network. Subscribe to the channel, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and we want to make sure that you are involved with what's coming up. Also, turn on notifications so that you can be caught up with everything that we have going on. All right. Next one. Next topic. Mario kind of hinted on this already. And so I want to go ahead and bring it to the forefront. Where do you see fine arts in the next 15 years? Where do you see fine arts in the next 15 years? Mario, since you started it, go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see. I mean, you'll see similar things. I don't want to be like end of the world-ish. You know what I mean? Like, I think you'll see some similar programs, similar things that you're doing now. Just people struggling even more, or similar as they are now. But I'll tell you what I do think is going to happen. Largely, you're going to see more supplemental education. So you'll see outside programs, nonprofit organizations, things like that popping up. I think in the next 10 years, where schools will rely more on outside outsourcing of music education rather than in school teachers, because I think that even the use in many schools, you know, some music teachers are used as resource teachers. Some teachers are just like the fill a class teacher, and they're music teachers and they have a degree just like everybody else in the building. But because the art form is sometimes not appreciated in certain districts, certain states, certain areas, regions and stuff, I think you will start seeing, well, a teacher said, well, this program, this performing arts program here offers after school, you know, teaching for our kids. So maybe we can have them come in at 3:00 and do this from 3 to 4, and that will supplant whatever else they could get in the. Yeah, so I think that's really what you'll probably end up seeing more than just a regular classroom setting. You're already starting to see teachers planning to leave the classroom. So many teachers and educators I know have left the classroom and want to start their own school. There's been talks of a number of people I know in this area wanting to get up their own nonprofits and kind of build that momentum towards being able to have control over what it is that they specifically want to do, you know? And I don't necessarily see it as a terrible thing. I just think it's awfully unfortunate. It's just really unfortunate that we would have to go to those levels to be able to do those things. Owning a business is amazing, but to be able not to be a part of the general education of the school, or to be almost degraded to a level that doesn't seem like you're an equal to a math teacher or whatever else in the building. To me, that is a part of the issue. They wouldn't get rid of a volleyball coach or a golf coach, but they would get rid of a band director. And that shows not anything about who we are, but more about what their level of appreciation and understanding is to the craft and what it actually offers our youth, specifically Black and brown kids.
All right, Quan, where do you see fine arts in the next 15 years?
Realistically, I think we're going to continue going through the ebbs and flows of our fight as music educators. Period. I think the arts and fine arts specifically, we're always going to have to prove ourselves, so to speak, of why we deserve a seat at the education table overall. However, I am going to, be optimistic and say this, because of podcasts and different things like that. I do believe you're going to have, my prayer is that we're going to have a new wave of educators that are going to come onto the scene that strive not only to be band directors, but eventually fine arts coordinators and directors that can change the overall aspect of music, fine arts, and drama theater and those other disciplines in a positive manner. I pray for that. As well as once this next regime or administration of HBCU department chairs transition out, I think you're going to see a different wave of education for how we teach and prepare our students before they transition to the real world as well. So I think realistically right now, I mean, from where we're sitting, I mean, it doesn't look the best, or you trying to be optimistic about it, but I think eventually it's going to get better, slowly but surely. And like I say, due to podcasts like this and just being aware, we always talk about being woke, but sometimes we're woke to the wrong thing. So, but I think eventually, it's going to turn around for the good, because not being ugly, everybody can't run a ball. Everybody can't shoot a ball. And I saw a statistic not too long ago that says I think 85% of students that tried for a scholarship for band or music, they get it. They get something. That's a whole higher percentage than athletic, and no knock to them, but 85% chance of attaining free money, I'm gonna take that chance.
That's what I was talking about earlier, bro. Like the percentage is just way way more in favor for what we do and the ability to be able to do it on the next level than it is in athletics. It's only so many spots on the basketball team.
Right.
I mean, like, but you can have people want to have as many band members sometimes as they can possibly get. So if you can fill up 300 band members and you have 170 of them on scholarship, you gotta, you have the budget for it, you can do it. So
Right.
it's I think it's obvious, but I agree with you, man.
But
Overwhelming.
I think you gotta to truly do that. So what I've been doing, and I've been preaching that to parents, and kind of like what we said earlier of highlighting those kids, the 3 kids that I have in college, I have them call when we have our band parents meeting and record and let them talk about their experience. Let them talk about how, if they wouldn't have been in band, they would have been able to afford college. I reach back out to those parents and say, hey, yeah, we got what's called a refund check because they had so much, scholarship money. And then the parents, like, the light bulb go off, because I realize some parents, they don't even understand how much college costs, because some of their kids are the first generation college students. So I was the first generation college student. I'm out of my mother's children. So she didn't understand about FAFSA. She didn't understand, oh, you got to pay that like right now, like right now, or you're gonna get dropped. Like, it's things like that he didn't know. And if it wasn't for me having a band scholarship, there's no way I would have been able to afford it to attend school. And some of the parents, they don't know that. So
right. Totally agree. Totally agree.
I think you both are hitting the nail on the head. Kids and parents are just oblivious to it, right? Because like I just had a conversation with a student, I want to say 2 weeks ago, where they were trying to figure out why do they need to even stay in band. Little euphonium player, really good, by the way. And they were like, well, I could just go to college and be a cheerleader. But I said, well, how are you going to get to college? And they were like, I asked, I said, are you going to get an academic scholarship? Are you going to get a cheerleading scholarship? Because those things are a dime a dozen. And then when I really started telling them, I said, look at the band programs at the university level. Do you think every single person in that program just walked in there with an instrument? No. You know what I'm saying? Most of those kids, at least 50% of those kids are on somebody's university scholarship. Somebody's paying for them to be there in some type of way. And then the light bulb goes off. Oh, I didn't know that, right? So I think that a lot of the problem is we're just, and I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say that the information is not out there for them to even know that it can be able to afford these kids an opportunity to be able to move on to the next level. They are just completely oblivious to that fact, because like you said earlier, Quan, the only thing that they see is athletics and they see the quick dollar, but they don't understand. And I've told a lot of my students this. I told them, I said, you want to be a football player, right? You want to go to this school, or you want to go to the school for football. They'll be like, yeah. It's like, do you want to go to a D1 school? Yeah. So you want to go to a D1 school? Yeah. Think about how many kids on your team want to go to a D1 school. All right. Now multiply that times the kids in your town and the number of different high schools within the district that you're in. Think about how many kids on those football teams that want to go to a D1 school. All right. Now multiply that times Texas. All right. Now multiply that times the United States. So your chances of getting that are very, very, I'm not saying it's impossible, but your chances of getting that is not as large as it is if you just play your scales, can sight read, and play a piece of music.
But then, not to cut you over, but like, they don't want to hear that. Like, I just saw an email from, because emails in the NFL going around. What's crazy is I saw an email about Josh Allen, the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. They say when he graduated from high school, he had no offers or anything. So he went to a junior college. He sent the same email to 1,000 coaches and only one picked him up. One. And the email stated, I'm 6'2", 210 pounds, and I would be a great fit to your offensive scheme. But we talking about kids that's like 5'10" who run a 7 flat.
Well, 5'6", mad little stubby joints.
You know what I'm saying?
Try to, and not athletic at all. You know what I mean?
But we hating on your hoop dream though.
Right. And you know what? I guess I wouldn't be the music educator if I didn't say this part. I hate that it's always this or this. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea that it always has to feel like, well, why can't you do this? I always feel like I got to be like a car salesman to kids. Like you're constantly trying to like, well, maybe you could do this. This is better than this. It's like this, to me, in my brain, it sells itself. But in this current world, it doesn't anymore. And that's what the part that we were talking about earlier. That's the part that kind of breaks my heart. Like you're talking about listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. The only thing that they have close to Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is this is laughable, is Bruno Mars. That's the closest thing they have to that. And that's not even anywhere near, that caliber of musicianship, because that's a bunch of, appropriated music anyway. But you understand what I'm talking about? Like the culture of this, of the music style that we're promoting, it doesn't seem like it has an apex. Where is the apex? Is it college? Is marching in a college band supposed to be the ideal situation that you were supposed to look forward to from high school to college? Or do we need some? I was thinking about this, just a side note. I want to know what you guys think about this. We have a lot of new videographers. I'm seeing more and more people posting videos about, like they're recording marching bands and they're doing small little shows and stuff. We had marching orders on Netflix. I think we need more things like that, like a lot more. I think there needs to be some more things like that. And there also needs to be, and this may be far-fetched, but there needs to be a professional marching band. There needs to be professional marching bands. And I think it would be absolutely dope idea that a lot of people have talked about before, but professional marching bands would do great for what we do. And it would be an awesome addition to, people will be like, why would you have that? Well, you also have professional cheerleaders. You don't need that, but you have it. You know what I mean? You also, you have professional, different people doing different professional sports that are not really watched, but people still support that. You know what I mean? I know it would have to start from the bottom or somewhat in a lower level, but I think that would be an amazing thing for each NFL team to have, professional teams. Professional bands and stuff like that. Like, why the Redskins have a band, but not like a bunch of randoms just together. I'm talking about like a band that's a real, no shade, I'm sorry, the Redskins people, but you know what I mean? But a band that actually is like, a high step marching band in the style that we do. It's an open avenue right now. It's an open avenue. Yeah, I ain't want to, whatever.
But Mario, honestly,
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I do, man. She ain't here, man. We got
Maya, right?
But no, I 100% agree with that, man. And that's something I've had conversations about so many times, man, because they don't see that. And I definitely agree. Like, what is the apex? Where are we shooting for? What are we shooting for? All right. What up, Rick?
Yo.
Hold up. Let me do it the right way.
Congratulations, young fella.
Yeah.
Congratulations, boss man.
Yeah.
Man,
Quan got on that FAMU daddy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, let me
strike again, head is.
So let me say this. So it was HBCU day, and every department had to represent. So the counselors, all of them graduated from Prairie View, so they took it. So we had FAMU.
Oh, dope. Okay, that's what's up. It's a nice sweater, though. That's fire.
Shout out to Sarah Derica who provided it. Black-owned business.
Yeah.
Oh, you got. Let's promote her at the end because I'm trying to get me one too.
Yeah, I need one of them bad boys. We all
not in the fam colors, but I'm gonna get it in. Yeah, I'm good on the fam daddies, but I'm gonna rock the green and gold.
I believe they got green and gold.
Yes, sir.
You got green and gold.
Real quick, Rick, did you want to get in on this, or you good? You want to go to the next topic?
What were y'all talking about, man?
Where do you see fine arts in the next 15 years?
Fine arts for who? Fine arts for who?
People. What do you are you talking about levels? Are you talking about university level, secondary? Is that what you're asking?
And are we that? And are we talking about HBCU styles or just in general?
I'm really just talking about the secondary level, but I'm just talking about all fine arts and music and band fine arts, that kind of thing. But it's a secondary level.
At the secondary level, it's hard to tell, man. I think it depends on where you are. I think it depends on what type of program it is. You know, my friend is a band director in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and his school not only has band and orchestra and choir, but they also have stage shows. So you know, his students have so many avenues of expression of artistry and music that they don't have a lack of resources. Whereas I know in the city I'm from, Portsmouth, Virginia, school I used to teach at, well, when I was there, I was the only fine art in the school. I was my supervisor at my school because all we had was band. We didn't even have choir. All these kids that was walking around the hallway singing, we didn't even have choir. They have choir now. So obviously somebody wants to see that program move in a different direction. I hope it does. But I think it's all about the investment that these cities and these states are willing to make into these programs. Y'all, the fact of the matter is what we do is expensive. And if they had to make a decision between buying one tuba for $6,000 and buying 10 computers for a classroom, they're gonna make that decision. And I think it's tough and it's a hard pill to swallow for us as music professionals. But the fact of the matter is, y'all, we're in a field that is expensive, and to do this at a high level is time consuming. So it just, like I said, it just depends on what you're talking about, what type of program you're talking about, where you are, what you want the vision of the program to be, and what the city is willing to invest in that program. In Portsmouth, everybody loves I.C. Norcom's band. I.C. Norcom's band ain't going nowhere. Like Derek probably got more job security than anybody I know because people love that band. And I think that there's bands like that all across, you know, the country. So where is fine arts going? It's all in what these cities are willing to invest in these programs and the vision of the people that lead them.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna, since I kind of started off this way, I'm gonna try to end it this way. Now that we got dang near everybody on the panel, I can kind of go back to the moderator side and post it now. But just to jump in here real quick, I don't know. I'm not too my thoughts are not too bright with the future. And I'm just looking at how a lot of things are going right now. Between, especially when we're trying to keep up with, you know, data and test scores. A lot of things are happening where, you know, we have these pullouts that are not supposed to be happening according to the ESSA, but they're still kind of happening anyway. A lot of things that we were talking about last week as it relates to STEM. I mean, a lot of those things I think are happening, is happening, and this is where I agree with you, Rick. In certain areas, that pulls away from these, you know, fine arts programs and these band programs because those communities invest more in those other things, those outside sources, these P-Tech programs that we have going on. I don't know if you guys have P-Tech programs or you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like I guess you want to call it a college readiness course or a college readiness system, to where they put these kids in these classes and they take college classes starting at around their sophomore year. And when they graduate from high school, they're also graduating with an associate's degree. And so when that happens, when people see that and that option is out there, well, usually how that works is, in a lot of cases, it pulls those kids out of band because when they get to their senior year, they're at the university campus the whole time. When it's in their junior year, they're at the university campus halftime. So that doesn't leave a lot of room for practice and all that kind of thing. So,
But
you know,
let me, if you allow
It
me to
sounds like
push
an IB program here, International
Yeah,
Baccalaureate.
but my thing is this, man, and I got to push back a little. So you say these students graduate with an associate's. So why isn't there a music theory course in there? Like, how much advocacy from a band director level and a city supervisor level is being put into this? Are you going to the city council meetings to advocate for what you do? Like, I think we like the doom and gloom thing, man. I know you disagree, Julian, but it's not. It's a lot of bands that's flourishing right now, and a lot of fine arts programs that are flourishing. And I'm wondering if what type of advocacy in these programs that you're talking about is being done from the directors to make sure that they're in the conversation. Like, is there a national citywide coalition of band directors that goes to city council meetings and advocates for what directors want in those meetings? Because that's the only way that's going to happen. So there's no voice in the room. People, they don't know what they don't know. So I'm wondering, like, do you see a lot of advocacy for upper level music courses in these P-Tech schools and stuff like that you're talking
about? So to answer, to loosely answer that question, there is no advocacy, no. But the only reason, from what I've noticed, is one, because when they started these programs weren't specifically geared towards making sure that all of the things were encompassed within that, right? So I came into a system where that already was in place. So I had to learn about the system while also being a part of that system. So that's the only reason why I know. Now, as far as what happens as far as these programs, every school has a different focus, right? So there could be a P-Tech program for technology at this high school, whereas there's a P-Tech program for, we can say, fine art at this particular high school. And then there's a P-Tech program that's for science at this. So what ends up happening is these kids kind of, if they want to be a part of those programs, they'll float to those particular schools, which pulls away from a lot of those different schools who do still have band programs. You see what I'm saying? So if that makes sense. So I get what you're saying as far as the advocacy for, directors and things of that nature for specific programs, but, I don't see any advocacy happening in these spaces or these areas. So you're absolutely right on that part. I don't disagree with you on that. No.
But I guess because that's my point though, bro. Like, we've become experts as professionals, and I'm not talking about us on the call, just in general, our community, let's say that, have become experts on identifying the problem. But we are novices when it comes to actually finding solutions of how to fix it. It's easy to point the finger at blaming okay, this is the reason why. But it's going to take people sacrificing and going to the city council meetings and doing all these things that it takes to really advocate for yourself, and your job and the importance of what how we all feel about what we do. And Julian, I thought long and hard about what you said in the last call, because I think it's right. I think you're right in that, because I haven't been in secondary school since 2012, I think my view has changed. But I've been in all different types of band programs since then. I've taught many high schools between then, as far as clinics and stuff like that. And I've been at 2 major universities. And it ain't peachy keen at these universities either one that I've been to. So I think that as educators, we all need to do a better job of advocating for ourselves and finding the way to do that. Especially at the secondary level. I know that's tough, especially if your city or state is not a place that allows you to unionize. Like, I'm a part of the union here in Connecticut, so we absolutely have a voice in the decision making of our programs. A lot of states are not, right to unionize states. So, finding a way to advocate for what you do and for your students, man, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had, especially on a disadvantaged program level.
Well, I know I got clicked off. Sorry, Julie. I got clicked off, but I did want to say this. Being from Louisiana, in the area that I'm from, I know I can say this in regards to those P-Tech programs. A lot of the time, they facilitate and bring programs to those schools, honestly, that makes the schools or districts money. I know with the P-Tech situation, even because my sophomore year in high school, working right there in that River Parish, attending school in that River Parish area, they wanted us to go to P-Tech school sophomore year. Like Julian said, by the time you graduated and through your interns, you could graduate with an associate's and be making, $30-$40 an hour. And so a lot of my classmates, that's what they jumped on, and many of them about to actually retire right now, which is crazy. But a lot of those, that's what happens for these programs, pending your specific area. But I do agree with Rick when he says we do have to begin advocating for ourselves. And I think the question is like, how do we begin truly advocating for ourselves? How do we begin, like you said, how could we develop a music theory course or a pathway from because I know here at my school, you have a fine arts pathway where you can take band all of those years if you plan on going to college to participate in the marching band or concert band or whatever the case may be. That's just started this year. And I do teach music theory here. But we have not connected with the local junior colleges to say, if you take these many courses of music theory, it's kind of like you get a few credits towards your degree. But I think that's the question, like how.
Yeah, I think that's a question where you have to. It's going to be specific to each area, because I know, like with AP courses, or what Mario was saying. I think you said is it AP Mario you call it there, or B?
The International Baccalaureate program. We actually had a music theory component to that program. The person who was trained for it retired, and they didn't train anyone else. They didn't give me training. So I was supposed to be teaching AP to prepare people for IB, and they were supposed to, get through that way. But then they just stopped it because then we let a person go, and then it just kind of turned on its head. But the original format of it was actually pretty good. It would allow kids to study with kids from abroad, from all around the world, and they were studying music theory together.
Yeah, and a lot of that, Quan, too, is people have to be certified for these programs, man. Because no college is going to take you say, okay, I teach music theory. They want to make sure that you are following actual certified curriculum and you know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Right. So I think it's a lot there, Quan. But I think that is a question where, I'm just going to be real. I'm going to keep it real. That's what we do on this show. A lot of band directors lazy, Quan. They want to go to work. They want to get that check, daddy, and then they head on home. And then they tell, oh, woe is me. They don't want to research. They don't want to do, go that extra mile. And they may have other responsibilities too. I get that part. But in order to grow a program, it takes a lot of things that aren't just sitting in a room and rehearsing. You have to have a good business mind. You have to be able to raise funds for your band program in whatever way your city allows you to do. Like, to be good at what we do, it takes a lot, man. And I know that's another conversation, but the first part is identifying what works for your city, what resources you have, reaching out to the right people in your human resource office, saying, hey, what can I do? How can I get better? Finding out when your school board meetings are and going at university level, going to faculty senate meetings. Like, these are all avenues that people can take, man, but they just either choose not to or they just don't know. And I remember when I was in college, Mr. Adams said, telling me you don't know is not a good enough excuse. There's too many people around here that's got the answers that you're looking for. So that's the way I look at it, even in my adult life, man. Ask the right questions to the right people.
I would just say the only thing that I would say to that, Rick. So I'm
real quick. Final point.
Yeah. I am not one of those lazy teachers. I'm working my butt up here in New Jersey. But I will say this. I know a lot of people feel like if we have a room full of teachers and there's maybe one music teacher in the room, and then there's math teachers and science and English and social studies, none of those other teachers have to do any of the things that you're saying. They're getting paid the same salary, but they don't have to do all this advocacy and all this work and all this extra stuff. They don't have to do any of that. We do. And so that's the point. That's the part that that's the part that I hear oftentimes from other teachers. You get paid the same 75, 80 grand that somebody else is getting paid, but you don't have to do it. You can go home at the end of the day. This other person is having to, jockey for kids, fight against athletic programs, go down to City Hall, meet with people, shake hands, kissing babies. You got to do all this shit. You're running for office being a band director half the time. That's what you feel like. And I have had to do all these things. And I'm saying, though I've done them, is that really, that's not that. So you're fighting for something, but that's not a level playing field. And so I think when we talk about advocacy and trying to get us, are we trying to just make it happen no matter what? Like we talked about in a couple of shows ago. We just want to, there is a way to make it happen. Bottom line, yes. But are we working towards evening the playing field with education, just in a regular school? Just in a regular school. Why is it that one teacher has to work extra hard, another one doesn't? Those are some of the things that need to be discussed. If you're going to have a subject offered, then there should be resources offered for the thing you're asking somebody to teach, period. And that's bottom line. But obviously that's a perfect world. And we don't live in that. So we do what we can to try to make it happen outside of that. But that doesn't make it right.
All right. Hey, great way to close that out. Oh my gosh. All right, that went a little longer than I thought it was gonna go. But if you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about music education, band, HBCU band culture, and more. Please make sure that when you're coming in, you're hitting that like button. Smash that like button. Pound it. Do whatever you can. Just go ahead and hit that like button. All right. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you haven't been to the YouTube page, go over to the YouTube page, subscribe to the network, and also turn on notifications. We have a lot of great stuff coming up, and I want to make sure that everybody's a part of that. All right, here we go. Next topic. I'm gonna try to keep this one a little bit more simple than this last one. All right, here we go.
Someone said they was kissing babies and stuff.
Yeah. In your opinion, define a bad band. In your opinion, define a bad band. Rick, since you came late, you start first.
Okay. A band with no expectations, no leadership, no vision. A band that is constantly not growing. Year after year after year, it's the same thing, just a below average. A band that refuses to identify what their issues are and use them to build a plan of how to grow. A band that doesn't play on level or doesn't try to play on level. And I use that because I look at bands like Mario's. All the challenges he's faced. I've heard his band, and his band can play. So a band that has no vision, just always feeling sorry for themselves. Oh, woe is me. Band director been there for 5 years, and you ain't gone from grade 1 to grade 2 yet. Like, I don't know, man.
Only 5 in it.
Right.
Oh no, daddies.
It's like everything is in context, man, because let's say you're a band that doesn't play on level. So you're a high school band that's playing grade 2 or 3 music. After 5 years of you being there, your band should be getting close to playing grade 4 music. Like, at some point, as a director, you're going to have to stop making excuses, because don't nobody care about our excuses. They just don't. So all of those things, bad tone qualities, no intonation, no sense of dynamic contrast whatsoever, just everything loud, no articulations, none of the key aspects of what makes music music. What's music? Tone, pitch, time, and volume. Those are the 4 things that make up music. From there, you build upon that. So, if it doesn't even resemble what somebody would call music, that's a bad band. And then I would say, finally, bad culture. Not having an environment where people want to be a part of it. I was always told band was family, and I still look at band that way to this day. So having a culture that doesn't invite people to want to be a part of your family, all that hazing and all that stupid mess, or having a program that's not culturally diverse and societally diverse. Inviting for people that don't have, what's considered normal. So all those things represent a bad band to me.
All right, Quan, in your opinion, Define a bad band.
I mean, it's hard to come from behind Rick. He didn't say everything, but I mean, just to
Right.
pick, yeah, just to piggyback what he said. I mean, that's really it. And I think for myself, you know, and I'm gonna say this on a weekly basis, a lot of the things that y'all say, I take to heart because I think I'm the youngest director out of you all. And I think you have to have a sense of humility when you're the youngest person in the room. Sometimes you don't need to talk the most. So I want to say that first, but I mean, overall, a bad band, like Rick said, is a band that excuse me, that doesn't grow from year to year. I think being at this school, my third year, we've grown, but but at the end of the day, the reality of it is more. I think as a director, you have to set your standard, like your standard, and push your kids to meet that standard. So if you don't have standards and you just barely doing it, like in y'all words, to receive a check, daddy, well, that's a bad band. And I think it all starts with the leadership. What is that vision? Does that leader have conviction about what he or she's actually doing on a daily basis? You know, do you see the growth in your students? And sometimes you have to take them small wins to see the bigger picture on a daily basis. Like for my students, I still have beginners coming in slowly but surely. And me, the type of heart that I have, I'm not gonna turn nobody around. But now I see my students, they like, Mr. Mitchell, can we go take him in a room and go teach him? Well, you know what? You're right. Like I see kids who they beat me to the school now to have their own rehearsals in the morning. Or I see a student walk around, they have their mask on, but like when they by themselves, they're buzzing in their mouthpiece. Like, and aside from what the kids say, man, that's whack or whatever, like they're like, nah, this is our family. I see how the kids, we have a wing where if you're not in band, they don't let nobody on that wing because they like, nah, this is our like our sanctuary, this is our house. And so you see that culture being established where I'm at. So, you know, you got to take those small victories. But I do agree with everything Rick said. You know, if you don't have a vision, you don't have a standard, you're not pushing them, and to be a well-rounded program. And I think a lot of the times we talk about band a lot, but your program is your program well-rounded. You know, those are the things.
All right. Chief, in your opinion, define a bad band.
Everybody's covered it. I mean, everybody's covered it. It's not much left, but I would say just inflexibility too. Um, a lack of understanding of the students in the population that you teach. I think I'm sorry, my daughter, she lighting it up in the background. She having a fit. But yeah, the idea that you can come in and whatever information you know and understand as an educator, you believe that you can just lay it out and it'll work. You know what I mean? Like whatever you know, you can just kind of come in and put the baton up and it works. I had a shout out to Mr. Williams though. I had a 11th grade teacher that came in after one of the best music educators I've ever met. Rest in peace to Mr. Benjamin Pruitt. Mr. Williams came in after him, and Pruitt was a hardworking, like just lovable person. Man, you've never met another man. I do. Just everybody loved him, man. If you met him, you loved him because he was just such a nice man. And Mr. Williams came in after him. When Mr. Pruitt retired, Mr. Williams came in, and Mr. Williams expected to put his baton up because he's like, this Cass Tech, so I know it's going to be whatever, you know. But he didn't realize that these kids that you're teaching are still Detroiters. These kids still come from some really hardened environments and situations, and he was inflexible. And so he did not allow himself to reach the potential that he really wanted to, or that I think was actually he was capable of as a musician, because I think he was a great musician. But he didn't go to the lengths that he could have gone to because he didn't want to put in that extra work, that time to build those bonds and work with those kids in a way that allowed them to see him as a person. The reason why kids go through a big wall for somebody is they have to see you as a person. And sometimes that takes time to build, because especially now in our society now where everything is very superficial everything is very superficial. So to have genuine love and care for something and someone sometimes takes a little longer for our kids that I'm seeing, that I'm teaching, because my personality has been the same since I've taught, but I'm learning that I've had to adjust and change and tinker with things that I'm doing. And I'm finding that, the kids aren't as open and willing to lay it all out like they used to. Like when I could do my spew and everything, and the kids be like, "Oh, Mr. Banks, whatever you want, I got you. We're going to do the da 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 da." And now it's like, it's cool. I'll come to practice then. And it's like, I'm got to like keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling. But the biggest thing, if I'm inflexible and I don't have what Rick talked about earlier, is vision. You got to have a vision. People are following. What are they following? What are they following? Where are they going? What are you doing with them? Like, you just be like saying, even if the kids like say, all right, I'm doing whatever you're going to tell me to do, but they don't know where they're going and they don't know what you're doing or where you're going. And it's like, I've seen that with many programs with the directors. They have their own internal like promises of success, but they don't explain to the kids where they want them to go. They don't show them, tapes and video and let them hear and have a sense of musical sound and idea in their head of where that's supposed to go. You really got to really get into the psychology of teaching and of people to be a great band director. So I think being a great band director goes to the last question, outside of kissing babies and, giving, mayor speeches and stuff like that. You also have to be personable. You have to be a person that people like to be around. People have to want to be around you somewhat. They have to, like, especially I know teaching in the inner city, people don't want to be around you. I don't care what you know. You're not going to get past first base. So you have to have a likable personality in somewhat. And that's a wicked web, because you don't want to be, I need to be so likable that I'm just a homie and not the teacher. So it's this balance you got to kind of keep together. But that's the reality of the new changing world. They have options. You don't. They have options. They can choose not to do this. What are you going to do? If you're teaching at a school, you gotta pick from these kids in the building.
But Mario, you know what's crazy, bro? You know what's crazy? Just in line with what you were just saying.
Yeah.
We always had those type of teachers growing up.
Yep.
Like, think about all of us on this call. You always had a band director that you would walk through a brick wall with, because A, they had standards, but B, they had expectation. Like, I know, Mr. Thornton at Willow Ridge. Like, think about Miss Sanders at Norfolk State. We all knew Miss Sanders loved us. It won't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right. Everybody knew Miss Sanders loved us. Call everybody baby. Hey, baby. And we go, hey, Miss Sanders, what's up?
Still to this day.
We know Miss Sanders loved us. But we also know if we showed our ass up to her rehearsal and we ain't had that music right,
yeah,
you were going to see you going to see Stephanie, man.
Like, you all sound like hear this shit.
Right. We looking up there like, they got the horn. I ain't saying nothing, bro. I'm not trying to get like that time she cussed Julia and I was playing that double G after she told him not to do it. Hey, let the good times roll.
You weren't gonna stop me from playing that G. I'm sorry. I
gotta get it out. I bet
you ain't playing the G again.
I'm grown now.
All right, Miss Sanders. But I think that's what every band director, to me, man, looks like, man, needs to look like being able to walk that line of cussing somebody out, both hopefully not, for real, but figuratively, and then being able to be mom and dad right after that. So,
but I think first of all, what makes, in my opinion, a great band director is he truly feel like that this is a calling, like it's bigger than him. Like I ain't trying to be funny. Like all great band directors that I've seen that have went on to glory, like the people and the testimonies of what they've done, not just on the podium, but their character outside of those band halls is the reason they gave us this great conviction that, hey, I'm gonna follow you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a leader of a flock. Regardless of what anybody say, like you're a leader. And so if that vision isn't written down in plain sight, where, like you said, where are we leading them to? And that personality makes the students believe in him, even when they can't even see it. So like if you don't have that type of mindset of what you're doing, like you're not going to have a great band program. Like think about like, Dr. Griggs years ago, and when he was a visionary and was like, I'm gonna do this, or Dr. William P. Foster, and the band directors from Norfolk and whatnot. Think about people possibly thought they was crazy as hell for what they were trying to do at that time. And think about 20, 30 years later, those visions that they conceptualized years ago is still into fruition to this day, even though they may not be here. Like that's what makes you a great band director and leader. So I think it starts with the director, because if you think about it, the attitude of the director is a reflection of the band. Because real talk, Dr. Griggs was arrogant. Every Southern person that you meet, I don't give a damn when they march.
We the Kangs.
They're arrogant, bro. But that's their thing.
Even if they went to Norfolk first.
You know what I'm saying?
There we go. All right. We're gonna wrap that one up. Any final thoughts on that, Chief?
No, I think we covered it, man. I really think that we covered the bases, and we got even into the details of the other aspects outside of the podium that mean a lot to help us really kind of nail down what it means to be a great band director, and obviously what the opposite is.
All right, cool. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Please make sure that when you come in that you smash that like button. All right, please continue to smash that like button. Whether you're enjoying the conversation or you're not enjoying the conversation, go ahead and smash that like button. All right. Also, please make sure that you go over to the YouTube page and subscribe to the network. And also make sure that you turn on notifications. All right. We got our last one here. See, Rick had an easy night. Here we go. Is basing our university programs around marching helping or hurting? Is basing our university programs around marching helping or hurting? Chief.
The way the question is posed, it assumes that everybody is doing that. I don't think everybody is doing that.
Right.
I think that the programs that do base their program on marching band, it helps their goal because their goal is marching band. But the programs that have other goals and feel like it's important to the totality of the musician is important, that's helping the total musician, which in turn will help the marching band and help all the other ensembles to flourish. Now, I think there's a larger thing there, though. In 2021, marching band, we had this conversation a little bit, like, is the popularity changing? Is it still popular and stuff like that? But I think sometimes, like we talked about, meeting people where they are. Some of these kids are at the level where marching band is their entrance. That's where you meet them. That doesn't mean that's where they stop. That's just where you meet them. And that's where, but unfortunately, when we're talking about university programs, no one should be coming in only focusing on marching band unless they're non-major. No one should be focusing only on marching band there unless they're non-major. And the non-majors are just doing it for fun, which is cool because it's an extracurricular activity. But for the majors who are taking it serious, they should be learning how to drill right. They should be learning how to arrange. They should be learning how to lead. They should be learning how blend and balance work. They should be learning how tonality, harmonic structures. They should be pulling all of that stuff away from their university band program. So there's a lot to get from marching band. I mean, if your marching band is just blow that hole the whole time, then maybe you're not getting as much. But when you do work on like if you're like a Bethune-Cookman, there's a lot to pull from Bethune's sound. Like that can translate into every other ensemble. Real talk. So it just depends on what program you're coming from. So yeah, I think that's the way the question is written. I guess I could see it in both sides. But to just plainly say, is it helping or hurting? I think it's hurting. Because I'm going to always go from the position of a music educator and as a person who was a major myself. So I think coming in focusing on music only on marching band definitely hurts. But if you are just a person that coming in college, then I guess it's all right. I mean, because that's your focus. The music majors should be leading their sections, and everybody should be following the culture of what they're music they're doing musically, and everybody kind of contour around that. So that's kind of how I see it.
All right, Quan, is basing our university programs around marching helping or hurting?
Hurting, and it's hurting because to a degree, like what Mario was saying, I feel like it's merely perpetuating the stereotype that that's all that HBCUs is doing. If we're speaking specifically about HBCUs,
Yeah.
I feel that it's hurting because what I realize is that 70 to 80% of what you do as a music educator has nothing to do with just say the rehearsal aspect of marching band. There's so much administrative things that you have to deal with as a music educator that was not taught in school. Also, from a marching band perspective or just a music education, there's a lack thereof of teaching students how to prepare. I think that's the biggest and hardest thing and downfall of a lot of directors and teachers is the lack of preparation, as well as the lack of even knowing how to prepare for a rehearsal and how to prepare. Like I was talking to certain directors and as I look back, I realized that we didn't have to practice that long. Like in high school and in college, if the director was better prepared for that rehearsal. Like there's no reason why, like honestly, as I look back, why we should have been practicing real talk like from 9 to like 1 in the morning. Why?
Mhm.
And now we can't get up for that 8 o'clock. So now we failing out. I mean, I realize that now, but if the very first person, real talk, and I always look up to him is Dr. Nicholas Thomas from FAMU. He was band director at Prairie View for a year after Prophet was passed away. And this man literally had an agenda for every single minute that he stood on a podium. And when we got out of practice early, I was like, what we supposed to be doing, y'all? We out of practice early. And that inspired me to be like, so how do you plan practices? And honestly, a lot of the time, due to we always focusing on the marching band, we don't know the intricate aspects behind the closed doors, which then, like we said in the previous shows, honestly rolls into you doing only what you know. So is marching band hurting us? It is, because how are we teaching this student to be a teacher? Marching band really is only 4 years of your life, but you have 20 years, 20, 30 years of teaching. I mean, so if you only focus on that small snippet and you're not investing into those 20 years, I mean, what you really gonna have once you leave?
All right, Rick, is basing our university programs around marching helping or hurting?
So from a university level, y'all, I want to build upon what Mario was saying. First and foremost, at the college level, even if your school doesn't have wind ensemble, there is not one music curriculum that builds their program around marching band. Not one.
Right.
So that's a decision from the director of bands. Because you can say whatever you want. Marching band is not the basis of FAMU's band program. Dr. Chipman is a musician. That man is worried about that wind ensemble. And it's a reason why they play with better timbre than 95% of the bands out there. You know, I think Norfolk and Bethune could give them a run for their money, Prairie View on a good day. But it's a reason why, because there aren't any schools really, y'all, that marching band is the sole basis of the program. That's a calculated decision. But I think what people don't realize is marching band is what gets dollars in the door. It just is, man. Like the only way we're able to give these scholarships to students is through marching band. Because it's just like football. People always ask, man, why are we pumping millions of dollars into football? Because football makes money. Wind ensemble concerts, most schools, but I know HBCU, they don't even charge. We charge for our concerts here. And they're not bringing in any huge money, a couple $100 maybe. You know, so from the standpoint of what gets dollars and students in the door, the thing that marching band does that is good is that marching band is usually the biggest recruitment tool for every music department at HBCUs. You staff your wind ensemble and other ensembles from marching band for most schools, you know. So it gets an opportunity. Like there's usually a travel budget when you're recruiting, so you can get out. But it's what Khan was saying. These directors have to have more of a forward-looking approach to what they're doing. When I go out and recruit, let's say I go out, I'm not just looking for a good saxophone player because they can play saxophone in my band. When I pass down a saxophone feature or something like that, and when on something, I need them to be able to play it. Or recruiting an oboe player that also plays trumpet, or recruiting whatever bassoon player that also plays clarinet in the march band. Like being smarter with the way you recruit instead of using that as an opportunity to take a vacation, which is what so many people do. You know, so I think that there is an opportunity there to really figure out what's important. But I think that overall, I don't know of any programs at the university level that are built around marching band.
Talladega.
Oh yeah, I mean, not many.
Yeah, that was the only reason I mentioned that earlier, because they were the ones that I thought of. They don't have a football team, and I never seen anything else from Talladega, so I just threw them out there.
Well, and like Ohio State. So Ohio State's marching band is separate from the music department.
Right.
Like they have their own building and everything. So they're another one you could say is specifically for that, but they still have a music department. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
The other half of that is secondary level. At the secondary level, if you're building your high school or middle school band around marching band, you deserve to be fired. Shots fired. You deserve to lose your job. Because what about armature development? If you got a kid out there just blowing their face off, Car, what's up, bro? If you out there just have a middle school kid, like we talked about earlier, the middle school marching bands, that is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. A kid can't play a middle C in tune, but they can go out there and blow as loud as they can playing. Nobody does it better. Like, come on, man. Like, I know, like you said, Julian, earlier, a lot of bands, they look at bands like these bigger bands, and that's what they want to be. That's what's good to them. But you had to learn something in college. I'm sorry, man. Like, it's just, we're at a point now where it's just getting ridiculous. So from a secondary level, if they're doing it, yes, it's destroying these programs, and that the director should be moved out of the way to get somebody in there that's competent, that's going to actually teach them kids and do the right thing. At the university level, I don't know. I don't think any are built off of that. So,
all right, Quan, any final thoughts?
Other than, man, just be a lifelong learner. I kind of had a situation that took place today. I don't want to go in detail, but it's like the situation just taught me just continue to be a lifelong learner. You don't know everything, and it's okay to not know everything either.
All right, bet. If you're just joining us, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Please make sure that when you come in, smash that like button. Go ahead and take some time to smash it. I'll give you about 3 seconds. Go ahead, smash it. All right, cool. Appreciate you for smashing that like button. Also, go over to the YouTube page, subscribe to the network. Make sure that when you subscribe to the network, you turn on notifications. All right. I've also put a link in the chat. Guys, if you're in there in the chat and you want to come in and chat with us, have some of the conversations with us, get in on any one of the topics that we had, go ahead and click the link. Just remember that the your camera must be on. And also, hey, one of the things I don't really care about, I don't really care like if you at work or something like that. Just come on in. You good. All right. Hold on, there we go. There we go. I just wanted to go ahead and put that up there. I just saw that. It just popped up. All right. While we're doing that, though, I do want to take this time again to say happy homecoming, Norfolk State, and everybody that's having homecomings right now. You know, much respect to you. all the HBCUs is having homecomings, but definitely Norfolk State. That's why I got my shirt on right now. Norfolk State University, Spartan Legion, behold the green and gold.
Behold.
Yes. Wish we could be there. Me, Mario, and Rick. I'm pretty sure all three of us wish we could be there. But it is what it is. But much love and respect to everybody who's having your homecomings this week, next week, and the following weeks, man. Please be safe out there. Mask up, do what you need to do. Don't go out there and try to catch nothing while you sitting up there trying to catch something. If you understood what I meant, you understood what I meant. All right. So if it ain't ring for you, you all right. But real quick, I want to go ahead and get to the stuff that we usually what's up, Rick?
Homecoming season is duck hunt season.
Exactly. You caught it. All right. I do want to take this time to get to
playing squid games with genitals.
Smith.
Squid game, oh Lord. All right, real quick, I do want to get to what we always talking about generally towards the end of the show when we give all the promotions out. So first of all, I want to always say make sure that you go and get you some of that all season. I'm gonna always talk about this season because the season is dope and it's my LB season too. But it's not just because it's my LB season. It's probably one of the best seasons that I've ever had. He's got a lot of new stuff that's out, man. So please go make sure you check him out. That's a little love. That's all. You can look him up on Google or you can find him on Facebook. All right. Also, October 30th, right, Rick?
Actually, I wanted to say, October 30th, but in Houston, but there's another one too. So go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, October 30th. Well, now everyone, October the 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia, there will be the same type of competition. So if you're in the Atlanta area, October 23rd, go out, check it out. It's on the U.S. Band's website, but there will be a show-style band adjudicated competition in Atlanta, and then the following week will be in Houston area at Prairie View. So, guys, if you are in those two areas, Texas or Georgia area, come out, man, and support these great bands coming out to get true adjudication, man, to try to make our band programs better instead of just talking trash about each other. Let's actually go out and support one another and support these great kids that are going out just trying to do something positive.
All right. Cool. All right. And also, let me quickly talk about it. Quan right now is being the spokesperson for it, but we got the information for it. Exclusively HBCU was the place where Quan has gotten that dope sweatshirt from. And if I'm not mistaken, you said that she is a soror, right?
Right, she is. So shout out to, I know I'm tagging on Facebook as we speak, but shout out to Sister Derica. Really, really good chick. Graduated from PV as well. Sister Derica Shelton. She is, and her other partners have exclusively HBCU. Go and check that website out. Hit them up. Black-owned business. They're doing their thing. They have Dope Degree. They have Divine Nine. They have specific HBCU boxes. So go and hit that subscription from what they have and go and check out their website.
Yeah, that's exclusively hbcu.com, as a matter of fact. I just want to make sure I tell you that. So that's why not only do we got the logo on the screen, but that's exactly how you type it inside of your URL. Or you can go Google search it, exclusively hbcu.com. Also, please remember, if you want to get in on the live with us at any point, please make sure that you click that link that you can get in on the live with us and have the conversations that we had. All right. Are there any other announcements that I may have missed? Oh, and Rick, I got to get your thoughts on this week battles, if you had any, or Chief, either one.
Man, to be honest, I didn't watch any. I plan on watching the Southern versus Texas Southern. This has been a busy week for me, so I was not able to catch some of these battles with everything else I had going on, man. But God is good, and I thank God for all the blessings He's blessed me with this week, man. And I'll go back and check out some of this mess.
Hey, I personally want to say congratulations, bro. Like real talk. Like congratulations, peace and blessings, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Well deserved, Rick. You do your thing, bro. Well deserved.
Had to make sure I give you the applause and the air horn.
Right.
We in the club. Yeah, we in the club. We in
Yeah,
the club.
just to let our audience know, that's the announcement I was going to share last week, but I hadn't been officially announced yet. But I am now the new caption head of the Mandarins Drum and Bugle Corps out in Sacramento, California. Much love to the Blue Coats, man. I enjoyed my 9 years there. It was amazing. And before that, I taught cadets for 2 years. So all those great organizations, thank you, man, for leading me to this point. And now it's time to take the Mandarins to the next level, man. And that's what we're going to do.
Let's do it. I can't wait to hear him. I can't wait to.
They're world class too, right?
Yeah, man. Our last finish was 10th place. So we're a final score as well. And we're trying to move up. And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
my favorite core now.
Yeah, man. I hate to be like, well, I got slightly negative news, but it gets better. So, it'll get better. So Friday, right before we had our football game, 2 of my students were hit by a car. Broken arm for one kid and a broken ankle for another. They were hit by a Essex County sheriff's officer in a school zone. So it's like a lot was going on with that. I had to get in the ambulance. It was like blood everywhere. It was a scary scene. Kid had his head wrapped up. Went to the trauma center in the hospital with them. I was with them the whole time, both kids. And just want to report the good news that both kids are back home with their families. They're healing up. CAT scan said that the kid who had was the worst part of it all. He doesn't have any internal damage. I'm just thankful to God, man. I mean, I don't think I've ever been that scared as a band director to see 2 of my kids laid out on the ground right in front of me, and see blood everywhere. It was a bad day. But just in 72 hours, they're doing much better. They will be on crutches for a while, for one, and the other one will have a cast and stuff. So we're just keep them in your prayers, man. That's that part. So I'm thankful to God because things could have been so much worse. And the fact that they weren't, that's all praises go to Jesus Christ, man. I just thank God. So
Eco.
Hey, I'm telling you. Yeah, I ain't even want to go there, Camille. I already said it. I know if it was my kids, somebody ain't paying for college. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, but yeah, it's sorry to hear that, but definitely glad to know that your students are okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna keep on diving into that, but
it was tough. I'm glad the kids are better. So that's
what matters most. That's
right.
Right. All right. Anyway, before we get out of here, let me go ahead and go around the room. Rick, anything you got for the culture?
Support Black, man. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna say it every single show, man. We want to improve our situation and condition. We must support each other. Also, man, with all these homecomings and stuff like coming up, man, especially with Norfolk State. Shout out to Norfolk State. Shout out to the Pure Gold Pi Gamma chapter, the Ruthless Romeo chapter, Phi Mu Alpha, all these great groups, man, and all these chapters and great friends that are going to come together this weekend. Get down on your knees and thank God that we're able to do this at some point this week, y'all, because it could have been so much different, with all these other HBCUs canceling homecomings. Some of us actually get to see our friends we haven't seen in a couple of years. So I just want to thank God for being great. All right. God is a great God. So thank you, God, for that. And thank you for the great friends like y'all to be able to have these tough conversations, man. Hopefully in the future, we're able to have some positive conversation about them, but that's another subject. But thank you for you guys, man, and have a great night.
All right. Quan, anything for the culture?
Again, y'all, like I said, I give people their roses while they, alive. Thank you, gentlemen. Like I say, man, a lot of, as being the youngest band director here, a lot of the things that y'all say I take to heart and I take serious. And I'm just thankful that honestly I'm in a position where I'm still learning, I'm still growing, we still pushing. Shout out, real talk to my band students of the Marching Proud of Sunnyside Band. I'm gonna share that with them. Honestly, for trusting in me, like I said, the band is growing. They pulling kids, out of the hallway. You need to be in band, and they believe in me. So I thank God for that. Um, Shout out to City of Houston, man. I think we're gonna bring bands back. That's my hope and prayer and faith. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, for this podcast show, because a lot of it, what we're saying, is the unadulterated truth. And lastly, band directors and teachers, bro, hey, go to therapy. That mental health is real. Go to therapy, man. All what we deal with, all what we honestly take on from our kids, go to therapy. Mental health is real.
100%. I can't even that. Hold up, let me do it the right way because she ain't here. Hold up, there we go.
I agree.
All right, cool. All right, Chief, anything for the culture? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. I live intentionally, bro. After seeing what I saw on Friday, it just makes me way more appreciative to everything, everybody, and every situation. I don't celebrate enough. I don't even, sometimes I feel like I'm advocating, but I could advocate even more. I started off, I had 12 kids in band camp, all young ladies, 6 dancers and like one horn player. And it was just like bad news bears, man. And we have 48 now. 48. So numbers increasing, man. I'm building, and I'm excited about the future of it. I'm starting from scratch, man, but I like it though. So I'm excited about that. I did not speak about, I wanted to say the return to Southern. Jesus Christ. My God. I haven't heard Southern play. I mean, maybe I just ain't been listening, but that Southern that I heard against Texas Southern was on one. So I will definitely say shout out to Southern because they was going crazy on Texas Southern. And so I was enjoying that for sure. I enjoyed it. I watched that twice. I was like, Jesus Christ. So
Look, Mario, you got me. I'm gonna have to watch it now.
I throw love. I throw love, bro. I throw love. When I feel like it's legit, I throw love. And I was like, damn. Southern was going crazy. And it was just a stand battle. So that's all I saw. I ain't seen no half. They ain't even had no halftime clips. You know them bands don't care about that. So but it was cranking it up though. Yeah, man. So I'm just saying, man, keep a prayer out for these kids, man. Hug your loved ones. Hug your loved ones. As soon as I get off this call, I got to get with my kids, give them a kiss on the forehead, and just let them know that I love them, And so don't take for granted any days you have because stuff can be taken away from you in a swift moment. So that's all I got, man.
Hey, man, we getting real emotional and heartfelt tonight. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get real emotional if you mute my microphone again.
We don't want to hear you, bitch.
Right. Shout out to Boo Boo Kitty, Captain Met Scuttleberry, wherever you are. We miss you.
I agree.
Hold up, and then let me do the other one. Hold up.
What's good, man?
All right, there we go. All right. But yeah, we getting real emotional here. But no, one of the things that I'm gonna say, I'm actually gonna kind of stay on the same topic, but also go somewhere else. One of the things that I'm gonna talk about actually is along with along with mental health and all that kind of stuff. Just take care of yourself. Mute you in this past week, man. It's been real interesting for me because I had an eye infection and I didn't even realize how bad an eye infection could actually get. Thank God my situation wasn't horrible, but people were telling me like how bad eye infections can really be. So, I had no clue. So I had an eye infection. I didn't have an eye infection for the last 4 days. And actually I went to work and didn't even realize I had an eye infection until the nurse had to tell me I had an eye infection. They was like, go home. So with all that being said, man, just take care of yourself, man. Just please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, man. Just please, for the love of God, take care of yourself. Whatever that means, man, whether it is the mental health, whether it's eating the right foods, whether, it's waking up in the morning and just walking or doing something, or even when you got a lot on your plate, just say no. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to say no. You are not going to please every single person. It's okay to say no, and that's no different than this show. I love everybody on this panel. I love Maya and everybody who comes and attends this panel. But if they hit me up like, yo, bro, I can't make it, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you gotta get on. No, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna be like, hey, it is what it is, bro. Go do what you gotta do. So, it's okay to say no for the sake of your health and the sake of your livelihood and your well-being. So that's one of the things that I want to say. Also, please make sure if you're still watching, if you're still live with us, when you come in and you're watching the show, you be prepared to possibly go live, man. I would love to actually converse with a lot of you guys outside of just talking to you guys in the comments and hear what your thoughts are. So, a lot of times when we put that link up, man, be ready to go ahead and click and come in. This is a welcoming space. If you got something negative to say, or if you got something against whatever we have said on here, or whatever the panel has said, that's okay. But the only thing I'm gonna always say is stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you feel and you hold strong to that, most definitely, Mario. If you hold strong to that, then stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? Defend your position. I'm gonna always say that. Defend your position. Don't change up just because somebody that came in here was like, hey, don't do that. Okay, but just be prepared to come in and have a conversation. All right. With that being said, though, it's time to go ahead and get on out of here. I appreciate every single person who came in and chatted with us in the chat room. Please make sure that you come back on next Wednesday. Oh man, my thing messed up. Golly. Oh, real quick, Mario, to piggyback off of what you were saying about Southern, just to really quickly get this one in here. I said this to Quan earlier, and I'm gonna say it to you. I think that I ain't never seen Kendrick Taylor act like that before. And
It had me hype. It had me hype. Personally, I got hype.
I don't know if it's some beef there or what.
It got me hype. I can't front. I got hype.
I will say I've never ever seen him since he's been in front of Southern that hype before. So I don't know. You may be on to something, but I don't want to speculate.
I wanted to tell that boy, talk your shit.
Right.
I mean, and real talk, man. He may have been feeling that kind of way because a lot of people were like, well, since
Southern, Southern ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah,
they say the pen gone.
Yeah, so he was in there. He was in there hype, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. I don't know if we're gonna have an after hours today. If we are, you'll see us. If not, it is what it is. But until then, man, I appreciate everybody for joining us. We will see you next Wednesday, 7:15. All right, appreciate you. Man, Quan be leaving as soon as the clip come up. Quan be tipping. Oh, he's still here.
Get him, Quan. Get him.
Quan was like, bro, I'm still here, dog.
Quan, you do be hitting that tip, daddy, though.
Yeah, as soon as we log off, I'm out. Can't hear nothing he's saying.
I be at the schoolhouse. That's why I be like, shit. All right, nigga, let me go.
Oh, I was wondering you at the building. I'm about to say you still at school. Yeah.
Shit, we still live? Because I don't want to eat on live.
Man, yeah, we live.
We still live.
Eating. It's all good.
Yeah, this is the after party.
What up now?
I'm about to grab something to eat too. I'm hungry than a mug, man.
Yeah, what I'm eating, I use the sausage on a stick. We had our HBC. I don't want to put that shit on camera.
Glizzy King over there.
Eating the meat on the stick.
The Glizzy King over there.
Nah, my nigga.
That's so New York of me to say that.
Glizzy.
Glizzy God.
Glizzy.
Glizzy God.
That shit funny. But nah, bro. I guess what's the after hour rules? You can say what you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is we off the show. I mean, the show is over. I generally end the show for the specific reason of I know it can go pretty lengthy. So I know there's people who may be watching who got other things they got to do, blah, 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 blah. So I make sure I end the show the right way. And then we come back for the after party. We talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Bro. Southern had an agenda.
Dog. Dog.
Did you see
Can you put the clip up so I can see what? Because look, now they got me hyped.
I got
it.
Nigga, you can't.
Rick, all jokes aside, all jokes aside, Southern's marching, the way they marching is like, that was the first time I saw them niggas like, and their chant felt like a ritualistic, like, we about to kill y'all, like for real.
Yeah, I haven't seen them on a mission to get nobody like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I was that, bro.
In that, like, the Texas Southern started off the 5th, all right. And then it just didn't go well. After that, it was just song after song. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. I was like, dang. Well, I mean, for me, so far for me, that's the cleanest I heard Southern. Like when I listened to him on Saturday, I was like, that's the cleanest I didn't heard him. I still love. I mean, it's like you take Alabama State sound and you just like amplify it. That would be like, that's like they loud, but not if you just make it even bigger. But because they super clean this year, so I like. That's why I was saying Alabama State was my band.
So how was Texas Southern?
They was good, but they're not as big, so the sound is not traveling as far. And they were playing in corners.
But here's the thing too. I feel like kind of like the Deontay Wilder Fury fight.
Right.
It was similar to that. You gotta go and fight your fight. You can't fight their fight.
Right.
And I think that's what Texas Southern tried to do. Also, like I said earlier in the show, I do feel like, bro, at the end of the day, they're getting better. Their field show got better, but it was really just like Southern. It was another Southern show.
And I was like, to the songs, bro. Even the songs, like if you listen to how Brian write, like Kendrick was like writing stuff like how Brian writes it. Like if you listen to all the rap songs, in the breaks, they use the trombones and they get the they put some like fancy part in the trombone. And every rap song had the same elements. I'm like, literally, it sounds like Southern Part 2. Like I was like, y'all gotta do better than that because you don't want to get to a point to where it's like it doesn't even have legitimacy, almost like Talladega-ish. It's like I don't want to hear that because it just sounds like another school type of thing. They sound way better than Talladega, but not. They just gotta. They're gonna have to do more of their personality.
But isn't that Brian Simmons' sound though? Because he made that sound that song.
And Kendrick, what he did was he like took it and made it sound like it was more of a Southern thing, and not.
Let's see this mess.
Yeah, listen to Paul.
This is the 5th quarter.
This was my favorite though. This was my favorite. It was louder.
You have a reaction part of the podcast too.
You'll enjoy the 5th quarter.
The two instruments I'm most impressed with Southern this weekend was the baritones and the tubas.
How about the tubas is playing?
They was ringing, dude.
But the key to the band and the HBCU, bro, is your tuba section and your trumpet. If your tubas and your trumpets are solid, then you have.
Everybody got loud baritones now, so it's like not even a thing no more.
And you can hide the mellophone.
I'm calling too.
Jesus Christ, embarrassing. Ringing. There's 30 of them.
Patrick ain't never acted like that, dog. Patrick ain't never acted like that.
Wait, you gotta see it. So there's a clip of this right here from the middle of the field. When you hear it from the middle of the field, it's better. You can feel the power.
Was Texas Southern on their ass or something? Or he was just pissed off about
He
it?
just was hype.
I'm telling you, dog. He had in his mind, he had another song, bro. He was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna say we old because similar stuff. What happened that way?"
Oh, so long.
He remind me of his conducting look like Chris Gray. It's very handsy.
All Southern.
Okay.
You got to listen to the fifth. The fifth is better than that song. That wasn't my favorite song, but I love they was blowing on it, but that wasn't my favorite song. They did some stuff. The song at the end of the fifth, I was like, damn. Like they was playing some stuff, bro. They was playing some stuff. So you gotta hear them out. And then the clip that I like from them actually was from middle of the field. It wasn't from that close. You could because they just turned and you could see Texas Southern the same distance. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. And then you could feel how much more powerful. I was like, Jesus Christ, these dudes, like a billion of them up there. It's like so many brass members, like so many people. So many of them. But yeah, man, I think this week belonged to Southern. I saw no other band that I saw. I was like, oh yeah, that's like somebody else. I think the week belongs to Southern.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I really like the direction that Grambling is going into. I just feel like their song selection is I'm just telling you. I've seen Grambling, and I see the trajectory where they're going. I think they're going in the right direction, personally.
I'll say this week's Grambling was better than the 2 weeks ago.
I would agree to that.
Because 2 weeks ago, Grambling, was it against Tennessee State or who was that against? Mississippi Valley? Somebody, whoever.
Yeah,
Preview. And then this week, it was better. They were better.
Okay.
And then
I didn't see this week, but I saw 2 weeks ago, and I was.
It was What didn't sound the same. They didn't sound. They sound better this week.
Yeah, and they were a little more aggressive. You know, I think again, like I say, I've seen them at Dr. Pennell's like final stages before you transition out. Like I think they're going into the right direction, in my opinion.
I'm gonna be interested in watching that Alabama A&M Alabama State game this year. I think that's gonna be a good battle because I like Alabama A&M sound. Like they against Jackson this weekend. I mean, they're not Jackson's got like like a third more people, but they have a nice sound to them. They got a nice thing going, and it's clean, and everyone's playing because they only have like maybe I think they're in the teens or something for trumpets or something like that. I don't know. I didn't see that many. Maybe I wasn't looking right, but they're not that big, not compared to everybody else in the SWAC.
What's your top 5 in the SWAC?
Let me tell you this. I will say this, and admittedly, so I haven't watched Prairie View that much. So I got to watch Prairie View, and then I can give you a better,
Well,
like
the
my
next big
better.
battle is them versus Southern. So I think
I got to see more Prairie View. I don't feel like I've seen enough to be able to like. Yeah, I got Prairie View in
I
my
think that's what next week or the week after.
next week. Yeah, next week. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Prairie View 7.
Yeah,
Shout out
Prairie View
their
Southern.
homecoming too.
Oh
That's
wow! Oh
homecoming.
wow!
Yeah. And shout out to B Hop on that Have Mercy, that Chloe. That nigga wrote that, man. Excuse
Oh,
me.
I gotta hear that.
Man.
That's on. Is that on YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she shouted him out on Twitter, and she shouted him out on a talk show she went on like 2 days later, bro.
That's what Jasmine Sullivan did with Norfolk.
Yeah, man. So
For that, pick up your feelings.
shout out to my boy.
Speaking of arrangements, was it Alabama A&M AMU? I think they played Knocking the Boots, bro.
Oh, really?
No word.
Bang.
I think they played it in the 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
How was it? Okay. Smooth.
To pull it up.
Quan, what was the song for PV?
Have Mercy.
Have mercy.
Hey, my thing is this though. At the end of the day, though, when PV plays Southern, just be PV, bro. Like
Man,
that's
thank you, Quan.
That's the same
Just be
thing.
PV,
Yeah,
bro.
don't try to do nothing.
Just
Yeah.
be PV.
Same thing we were saying we was there, dog.
Be PV, dog. Don't try to overdo it, dog. Don't try to
Everything goes wrong when they try to Southern. Like Southern do that all the time.
Put like this, that year that PV battled Southern and y'all was in Mumford, I think at the left corner, like they played Thriller and then y'all played like another Michael Jackson song. That was the best battle. That honestly, it was like.
Was that 14?
No, that was 15, and that's Julian to this day says the best band we taught at PV was 15. I disagree. I think it was 16, but Julian is adamant, and that was the year. Like even in the uncut group, people was like, "When y'all gonna admit that PV gave y'all that L at 15?" Like
15 was the best band that we had. The only thing that changed with 16 was just we added more rap daddies to our music. In 15, we had longer actual songs.
right.
16, we had a lot of rap daddies that year.
Say, hey, you know when I knew PV was like on their way up was when y'all first year when I heard Making Love in the Taxi Cab.
That was a Julian.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Quan.
Because like I'm gonna tell you why. Because me and my wife was sitting next day. We said, nigga, what song is that? And I was like, cap. I said, man, that's Taxi Cab. I said, them boys banging. I said, they gonna hey boy. I said, them boys banging.
Let me get on my soapbox. Rick gonna hate this shit, dog. Let me get on my soapbox.
You don't like that song? But Rick conducted it, I think.
No, none of us conducted that fifth. But
Julian, before you get going, I'm about to roll out, bro. I gotta go.
You have a good night, bro.
I'll see y'all, man.
All right, bro.
The reason I have a problem, bro, is because, and Rick knows this, that I was always the person who's gonna write the stuff that I like, and I don't think a lot of people listen to that I think is dope. And whenever I write those things, he like, man, ain't nobody gonna care about that. Ain't nobody gonna play that, dog. Like Rick always said that stuff. But now what's happening? A lot of people are writing a lot of stuff that people wouldn't normally write. We could have been pioneers for that joint, dog. And
in my defense, yes, he was the king of writing them joint, but Julian would pick the weirdest fucking song. Like he got an arrangement of Johnny Quest. Now, granted, the Johnny Quest is sweet.
I'm like that.
Hey, that Johnny Quest is sweet, but it's Johnny Quest. Who in there? Man, I want to do Johnny Quest, dog.
But Southern can go out and play got daggone what was it, Queen and everything.
It's a big difference between Queen, who was a multi-platinum recording group, and Johnny Quest.
I'm sorry, dog. I disagree.
Dog, you be picking weirdo ass songs, dog.
I always wanted to write Colonel Giles theme song.
Somebody played it. Julian wrote it.
I wrote it.
I wanted to write
all of that stuff just sitting. I got all that. The 2-part all that. Oh, ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Damn, bro.
All-
Damn, no.
I got all of it, bro. But like I said, when I was writing that stuff, and I ain't hating on you, bro. But people like Rick, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, dog. All right.
Hey, bro, y'all had some bangers. I ain't gonna lie. It's cooler to this day. It's when PV plays, it's cool to be Southern. Nigga, I get so hyped. I be like, God, I love that.
That was Hop's like coming out party with the band because he had wrote a chart the year before.
He wrote
Love and War.
Love and War, yeah.
And we were
Tony, was it a Tamar, right?
Yeah.
I like that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but he was like, "Man, I'm coming out strong," and he came out with that "Cool to Be Southern." We were like, "All right, dog, this shit rock."
Who wrote that? Was it Pusher Girl by Justin Timberlake? Who wrote that?
That was Julie.
I like that one too, because that run in the beginning, Pusher Girl. I was like,
when I wrote that,
if you know how much I had to work on that damn run, but that's another subject.
When I wrote that, Doc looked at me, Rick looked at me like, who the fuck is gonna play this shit?
Now, if you knew how hard, Quan, I had to work on that beginning. But my favorite Julian arrangement from early it still is. It's top 3. Is that Fine China? People go back and look at PV's Fine China. Julian wrote that joint. His Fine China sound more like the song than any other band, because some of them other arrangements I didn't even know what song they were playing.
Yeah.
And real talk, we had a lot of revisions on that joint too.
That and Take Back the Night. That Take Back the Night you wrote was sweet too.
Yeah.
I thought you said your favorite one for me was the Janet Jackson Daddy. Pleasure Principle.
Pleasure Principle. I forgot about Pleasure.
You kept saying Pleasure Principle was your favorite.
Another hit. Like Julie got some hits, dog. And I want to hear this big band they got now playing it, because we were playing that with 180 people soaking wet.
No, because we played it in 14 and we played it in 15.
That 14 band was not 200 people, Julie.
No, I'm talking about the 15 band. Because 15 was the year that we went to Alcorn and played it. In the rain.
Yes, sir. Julie got some hits. We got them band room hits that never made it out the band room. I'm telling you right now, somebody gonna play this joint. Julian has the best arrangement of Secret Garden I've heard.
Better than J-State?
Bruh, I heard the arrangements. Ain't nobody's arrangement better than Julian's, bro. We read it one time. I was working it. I never forget it, bro. I was working it in the band room. We read it one time. And when we got through them chords at the beginning, I was like, all right, Julian. Then when that tuba part dropped, the whole band was like, let's go. And we never played it, bro.
Damn.
So he got that I Don't Want to Come Down, which I bugged them to write.
Hey, y'all one day, bro, I gotta buy y'all lunch and y'all just gotta teach me how to write, bro. Like Rito.
Or you can just buy them arrangements from Julian and then you ain't gotta worry about it.
But it's a part of me that I wanna do it too, though. Because I be having songs in my head and I just be like, man, I want to write this. I need the steps, bro.
Remember when I sent you that joint to write the percussion part too? Yeah, that Hair Up.
Which one is that?
From Trolls movie.
Yeah.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? This nigga wrote a Trolls movie song.
But it rocked though, don't it?
Hey, it did. It was what is bum 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 bum. Yeah. At first he was like, "Say, bro, I don't think I like your percussion part." I was like,
"No, I didn't tell you that. I thought it was dope."
No, at first he was like, "I don't get it," and then you had to hear it again. You was like, "Oh, I see."
Oh yeah, it rocks. It rocks.
Yeah. Now my percussion part is gonna be funky though. I ain't gonna lie. I can do that, but I want to know, because I be having stuff in my head and I'll be like, but where you go from here, and stuff like that. I be reading them Alfred Blatter books and stuff like that, but I really need to be taught though. Better, put like that. Man, y'all got some bangers, bro. Cool to Be Southern. this last Chloe song he did, I was like, God damn. And I ain't gonna lie, I like PV playing Headbuster though. I ain't gonna lie, I do. Even though it's kind of old, but I like that. I didn't like Rep Your City like that, but it blew.
We got some, man. It's some bangers in PV library that people don't recognize. I think another thing too about PV is that PV sound is different, so it doesn't translate the same on video as others. PV sound, it's closer in sound to a drum corps than it is to HBCU band. So like you listen to drum corps, you like, man, they ain't moving no air. And then you go hear drum corps in person, you like, holy crap, and they are ringing.
Them are ringing.
Yeah, because I remember when we were at PV and the alumni would be like, man, they ain't blowing, blah, blah, blah. But then the alumni would come and sit in front of the band. They'd be like, woo, shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah, it's a different timbre, man. Like we really focus on core to sound and resonance. And a lot of bands aren't doing that. They have a very linear sound, straightforward. Whereas I prefer, especially in a stadium, a sound that wraps around you, man. You can hear it coming from all levels. You can hear all the parts clearly and defined. Like other bands ain't even having that conversation, better yet trying to do it.
So how do you teach that? Like how
it's easy, man. First part is in the actual teaching of the music, identifying all the parts, melody is up front. You know, like you listen to that, like even that Southern clip, baritones just out of nowhere coming with a high note. People are excited about that, so a lot of bands do it, but you don't even know what the melody is. I didn't know the melody of the song they were just playing. I've never heard the song.
I don't know the song, so yeah.
Right, yeah. But usually melody is clearly defined. If I play bum 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 bum, you know that's cool to be Southern. But if all you hear which is the baritone part, then that that doesn't make sense. So clearly defining.
It was Grambling who played "Knocking the Boots." It wasn't Alabama A&M.
Grambling, you said?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Oh no, I'm good.
I know you want to get it up.
Yeah, don't pull it up because but yeah, that's
I'm gonna pull up Gramblings and I'm gonna pull up mine.
And then tone quality.
Quan, and tell which one was better.
So the building tone. So my question is this. So I use tone or energy, of course. And my goal is for my students to hit the green, right? That I put on the screen. Outside of that, how do you develop that warm overall tone, that vibrato? Like, how do you develop those things? Not saying you don't, but
you don't want vibrato in a band, a marching band, because all that's going to do is provide more intonation
problems. Yep.
Right. So a lot of that, Quan, is relative. If you're talking about actual tone development itself, everybody will go to long tones, but it has to be effective long tones. So you have to talk about vowel shape there. You have to talk about the quality of the air, getting the air in and then turning it instantly back around instead of playing with stale air. Like there's so many different facets to that conversation. So building the building blocks there, first and foremost, starting with air exercises, being able to take effective inhalation and clear exhalation, and making sure that as you exhale the air, it is not forced because your body already does what it needs to do. The diaphragm, people say breathing to the diaphragm. The diaphragm is not alone. No air goes into the diaphragm. The diaphragm's job is to allow, it's wrapped around your body and it's allowing your lungs to either contract or expand. That's what the diaphragm does. So when you talk about that doing the most effortless inhale and exhale, while also forming the embouchure and being able to have good vowel shape when you're doing that. Identifying what's good vowel shape. What should the mouth oral cavity be doing when you're playing? How do you get the jaw down? How do you get the tongue level right? It's so many different facets to that conversation. So it's building blocks, bro. Like people think it's just one thing. It's not. It's constant work on the building blocks.
Right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So listen to this sound, Quan, just as we go through this. So you talk about building good timbre. So you can't hear all the parts in here in good quality of sound. Everything's just loud. So in this, the trombones are having the baritone can't focus on one sound because all you hear is horns and trumpets playing with this loud obnoxious sound. Now the trumpets have the melody. So I would go section to section, identifying importance of parts, and then balancing through that. The trumpets can still play full, but from a clarity perspective, everything else shouldn't be at the same level as the melody.
Right. So do y'all still use the pyramid theory in regards to y'all do?
Well, I mean, it's two different ways you can look at that, man. If you want a pyramidal sound, cool. A lot of groups now are not using pyramid; they're using the block, like the Macbeth sound. So like everything contributes at the same level. That's what Carolina Crown does. Every instrument plays at the exact same level. I listen to this and I just hear a cacophony of stuff, just confusion.
Right.
Now play yours, Julian. Like when I taught Julian's, I made sure we added dynamics and things like that, and so it wasn't just loud all the damn.
This is the one at Honda.
You can hear the trombone clearly. They don't have to overplay. It's just a nice bright trombone sound. What year was this?
15. But also, does this take place honestly with right?
This feels like a Shakespeare classic.
Thank you for doing that.
I wish more SWAC bands took advantage of woodwind sections.
Man, you know I love writing for woodwinds, dog.
And our woodwind section was small that year.
It was.
So when you write, do you write in the aspect of choirs? Like, okay, just you do? Okay.
So my writing, I like to use the Thad Jones method. So
now you
right. So Thad Jones. So basically with Thad Jones method, he says that you should be able to hear the tune. If you broke the band up into choirs, you should be able to hear the tune no matter what choir you use. So when I voice now, like Julian says, now I do. Before, I was just writing what was in my head. I've always been good with chords. So I would just like come up with chord progressions and stuff like that. Like when I did that Lose Control, I just composed the beginning just to add a chord progression and stuff like that. But now, as I've gotten training, I like to use the Thad Jones method. So like, for instance, with my low brass parts, specifically trombones and euphoniums, I use what's called rootless voicing because the tubas in these bands are already heavy. You don't need more root. So that gives you an opportunity to use color tone in your low brass section. So you can get your nines in there, which will give you a nice depth of sound to your band. It's a lot of things in there like that.
There's another thing. That's if you even want to add, those color tones in there.
Right.
Because a lot of people ain't even trying to put that stuff in there. That's what we harp on.
Right.
The more complex the chord in our brains, the better it is.
I mean, but you got to be careful with that too, because a lot of HBCU bands struggle to play in tune.
Yeah, and that's the bigger issue when we talking about those complex chords is tuning tendencies and then playing those chords.
So I have a question. Like I just looked Thad Jones up. Does he have a particular book that y'all use or?
No, there's it's a book called From the Score or Into the Score, one of the two. And it looks at 4 different composers. It looks at Thad Jones, it looks at Sammy Nestico, and I can't remember the other 2 off the top of my head. I think one of them Count Basie was one, and it was one more. So if you look at Count Basie's writing, a lot of his stuff was written in block. You know, like triads and things like that with color tones placed here and there, whereas Thad Jones was like a melding of the two, so he would do that in the low brass, and then over top of that, you know, you would definitely get block chords and stuff like that too. And his harmony was so dense that he wrote if he heard a color tone, he wrote it. So
Thad Jones, and what was the book called? Into the Score?
It's like Into the Score or From the Score or something like that.
Do y'all
like PDF on it online? I found the PDF. And then I went back and paid for it because I wanted the real deal. But you can find PDFs of it online.
Into the Score.
Yeah, something like. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. I want to make sure it's either Into the Score or From Score.
Also, do y'all like look up like the Fillmore system? Y'all don't do, because some of these elements I've learned from there was the marching band guidebook, and they basically was like, depending on your band, you could do Broadway style or pep band style or whatever the case may be.
It's called Inside the Score, Quan. My fault, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Are you good? Inside.
It's what it looks like, Quan.
Okay.
This is the book right here. Inside the Score.
Okay.
That's a great book, Julian. That's a good one for you too, bro. If you want to get some,
just
different elements.
Send me your PDF.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be phony.
Yeah, Thad Jones, Sammy Nestico, and Bob Brookmeyer. That's who it was, not Count Basie.
Is this the person that wrote it was Rayburn Wright?
Written by Rayburn Wright.
Okay.
He didn't Google it. That's why he Googled it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had a PDF, please send it to me too.
Yeah, but it talks about voicings, and then what it does after it explains what they do, then it provides a score and it highlights certain parts of the score so you can see it.
Okay.
So yeah, man, this was really informative, and then I was able to take a jazz arranging course, and that helped me tremendously with all these chords I was hearing in my head, man.
Yeah.
Nah, that's why I be saying, bro. Like,
let me play. I'll play one of my arrangements.
Nobody want to hear your arrangement, dog.
Man, you weak. Like I'll show you what I was doing before, and then how my writing has changed, especially from a voicing perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like
voicing wise, bro, I will definitely say your stuff has changed tremendously.
I mean, it's just being in the lab, bro. You know how that is, man. Just practicing the craft.
Like I tell you all the time, though.
Sorry. A weak Sibelius. I ain't even mean to open Sibelius. I hate Sibelius.
Sibelius is trash.
So I played an arrangement for Prof. He was like, all right, so this was cool, this wasn't cool. And then he gave me that cheat was basically like setting 1, setting 2, setting 3. So I that's something that I do want to do, honestly.
Julian, I almost want to play it. I got your Secret Garden right here, and I almost want to play it.
Don't be playing it for the whole world.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Like it's like phases.
I'm not giving nobody my beautiful juice. I probably, if I would have ever put one of my arrangements up here, I would never put one of my top ones. I put one of my phony ones.
Yeah. Let's see.
Which one would be phony though?
You got a couple of them, so you know what I'm saying. Black Suit. Put that Black Suit.
Black Suit, dog. Black Suit hit, dog.
No, Black Suit.
Don't like that song, dog. Black Suit hit.
And all the kids, bro, Lou, when you gonna bring that black suit back?
Exactly, dog. Black suit hit, bro. Black suit hit.
Black suit is not good, dog.
You
Sorry.
you just don't like the actual song. The arrangement hit. Stop hating, dog. You gotta stop hating. At some point in your life, you're gonna have to stop hating on Black Suit.
Dog, that black suit is not sweet, dog. And you swear by that black suit.
Black Suit hit, dog. The kids swear by it. They knew what was up.
They ain't know no better.
When we get off this joint, I'm gonna take this part and cut it up and put it in the Marching Storm joint and tag all the kids from 2012 on the Black Suit Daddy. 2012 or 2013, they all gonna get it. And they be like, "Yep, Prof Luke right, dog. That Black Suit hit."
Dog, that black suit was not sweet, dog.
All right, bro.
So Quan, this is when I first started. Like, this was the first chart I wrote for PV.
Okay.
This is that Johnny Gill rubbed you the right way. Since I've given it to a lot of high schools, it's like it's a good high school.
Very good high school piece.
Right.
We played it.
Matter of fact, Julia, I'm gonna send it to you. Oh, can I share my screen on here?
No, you have to send it to me.
It says share down here at the bottom.
Okay, you could try it. I've never done it from the opposite end. I got like full control, so I don't know what it looks like on your end. You might can share it.
Let's see. Can y'all see my screen?
No, phony.
Follow these steps.
Y'all funny. I'm a log in through my phone, y'all. I gotta get out to school. It's about to be 10.
Dog, you don't gotta get out. Tell them you run that place, bitch.
This is my bedroom, bitch.
Nah, shit, my wife was like, "Get up about that."
Oh yeah, you're lying, and that's different.
Yeah.
Bring your ass home.
Yeah.
You don't want to get smitted. You don't want to get smitted. That's definitely not what you want.
We don't need your wife to beat you up, dog. We need you to continue. We need you.
We just got you on the show.
Appreciate that. I appreciate the return.
Man got his whole picture up here. Oh, let me put
the picture up there. That what she said. She was like, "I see you official now." I was like, yeah. I said, "Them boys added me on the show."
Smiths. Rick kicked himself out. Well, hey, if that's the case, dog, we might as well go ahead and shut it down because it's getting late anyway. So don't even worry about getting in on your phone, bro. We need to go ahead and shut it down.
Okay.
I know you got to get to the work. And I know I got to get to work tomorrow. So, it is. You say what?
I'm gonna ask the school if they can buy this this book. But nah, for real, bro. Like let me know, bro. Like I really want to improve and get better on that arranging and writing, bro. So what I'll do is I'm gonna get y'all email. I'm gonna send y'all something that I wrote for like my beginners, and then y'all tell me what it is, tell me what I need to improve on, and so forth and so on.
All right.
So the key to beginners, man, is keeping it simple and basic, but still adding variety. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But hey, bro, we gonna go ahead and shut it down since you submitted yourself. Oh, you want to go ahead and play your joint real quick?
Can y'all see it?
My wife said come to bed. Hold up.
Cool.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
Click play.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah. Oh, God dang. You can see you.
So like this is the where's that playback menu? Because I don't see play.
Click the space bar.
Yeah, I'm about to. So this is the first joint I wrote for PV. Trash. Hold on, let me put the joint on there. I'm gonna have to put my orchestral sounds on here. Oh, and this is another thing too, Quan. I highly recommend everybody download Note Performer.
Note Performer, that joint is sweet.
Note Performer, like you heard what that phony MIDI sound like. Now you see Note Performer, right? Note Performer actually gives you the sound of actual horns. So like,
it's free?
Huh?
It's free.
It's a 30-day trial, and then you got to pay for it after that.
Hell no, that shit go $150, but it's worth it. So all the chords are there. You know, like I said, I've always been in the chorus, and when I get to a section like that, I can really like use my harmonic language.
Mhm.
Can y'all see this, Julie? Can y'all see Total Praise?
No.
So like this one, Quan, I wrote this one like 2 years ago. So the growth from 2 years ago to now.
Why am I looking at that's heat over here?
Like this is Total Praise I wrote right here.
Hurry up. Shit. White
Julie,
woman.
we got to go to bed.
No.
White flag, we get upstairs.
So listen to this, Quan. This just in a couple of years from there and studying, man, like growth, like in the chorus and stuff like that. I don't know why this thing. It ain't gonna cooperate. So yeah, we can let Julian go to bed because you know we don't want him to get punched in the face and nothing like that.
That man got to get home to his wife too. He at the school.
Oh, they're gonna play thing. I got it.
You at home holding your duck.
I am playing duck hunt, street duck hunt, man. All right, yeah, Quan, check this out, man.
All right.
So density of the chorus and stuff. Woo. And so at this point in my life, Quan, I was really into like substitution chords. So like this.
A major chord.
Woo! So yeah, man, it's just a lot of that. And that was 2 years ago, and now I still have all those things I learned, but now I'm a lot better at it and like using all these things I've learned. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing now, you know, it's working out well, man. So what I can do, man, is like I said, I point you in that direction and things like that. A lot of the jazz masters, man, teach us a lot.
Okay.
So it'll help you, man. Check that book out, bro.
Well, whatever y'all have in developing tone and and balance and those things, bro. Like I'm very, very humble. Y'all know how I get down, and whatever I need to do to develop these kids while I'm here to develop their sound and tone, I'm here to do it.
Mama Luke, the husband weak with his weak ass eye.
Y'all have a good day, man.
Stop hating on my eye. I was stupid enough to sit here and be rubbing my eye while I was on this thing, so I may have.
That's all right. And Mama Luke probably just farted in your eye. Journey.
Y'all have a good one, bro.
All right, we out of here.